Hey guys, I'm Chase and welcome to the MoonShot Money channel. A very confident Palantir CEO Alex Karp sent out an early Valentine's Day annual letter. We're going to discuss the highlights and give you our commentary. Earnings are tomorrow. Is it just us or does it feel like some good news is coming? Are you ready? Let's go. In just a few pages, Alex Karp takes us from the conception of Palantir to the software they've built, to the moat, to the commitment to help defend America, and then confidently ends the letter with these two sentences. We build software to ensure the survival of our most vital institutions, and we succeed only if and when those institutions do. When we read this letter, we got a sense of cautious confidence in one sense and an unapologetic defense of the company in another sense. Let's drill down further. The letter starts out this way. Our existence has always been improbable. We founded the company to build software for defense and intelligence agencies whose budgets were larger than the economies of some countries. They had the personnel and the funding, but not the software they needed to do their jobs. The incumbents that dominated the industry had tens of thousands of employees and essentially unlimited resources. We had about 5 people and an idea for a product. So you can see how unlikely it was for 5 brilliant people with an idea to build Palantir from conception to the powerhouse that it is now. It was David versus Goliath for sure, but most of us know how well David did in that epic fight. Against all odds and statistical chances, Palantir is here and thriving. He moves on to say the business has changed over 20 years into an entire category of software development that is still evolving for the better. Every large organization in the world now requires software platforms that help them interpret the world as it exists. Every industry in every sector has the need for software, whether they want it or not, he said. Do you hear that addressable market? Every industry in every sector. That is exactly the potential we saw from the very beginning in our investing in Palantir. The need for Palantir software platforms has never been greater than it is today. But tomorrow, we will be able to say the same thing. This is an ever-growing and expanding business. Listen to this sentence from the letter. We have built those platforms as well as hundreds of component products that make them work. Then he moves to the subject of moats. In the 20th century, moats may have existed protecting the markets and profits of certain companies and industries from erosion by competition. In this century, we believe that the only moat is software, said Karp. We have said in previous videos that Palantir employees are the very best software engineers in the world, and they have to be compensated accordingly. Alex makes the statement that the underlying code is completely and literally illegible to all, but the smallest sliver of the population. In my words, not many can do this job. That's his code for saying it takes the best software engineers to continually outsmart the second tier of enemy engineers. That is a major balancing act, to develop a product that is powerful enough to be insulated, yet functional enough to make sense to consumers. Alex discusses how the project that Palantir undertook and successfully created was extremely risky and that eventual payoff was uncertain and the investment of human and other capital was tremendous. Listen to this. The problems that we seek to address are not small, period. The construction of a software platform that consists of hundreds of component parts for the purpose of metabolizing tens of thousands of tables of data, some of which have billions of rows each, presents enormous technical challenges. So you can hear from those statements, Palantir is standing near the top of a nearly unscalable mountain. The silos of data are extreme and the complexity stretches across countries, divisions, and hundreds of thousands of people, and it's beyond what you and I can understand. Only a sliver of the population can comprehend it. Then he moves into a controversial area. Alex said, most of the largest consumer internet companies in Silicon Valley have built software products whose principal value is that they enable the efficient extraction and monetization of our personal information. We are the product for sale, not the software, which itself is often thin. We are the product for sale. Holy cow. That's the very reason we as a family are not big users of Facebook and a few other platforms. It's kind of scary when you think about these software companies juicing people's social media platforms and then selling the juice of your life for profits. Yikes. Building an advertising platform has never been what Palantir was about. Even though some despise what Palantir does, give them some credit. They don't monetize your private life like other software companies do. Seriously, that's a big deal. Palantir is unapologetic about defending those who defend us. The next piece of the annual letter is a bit scary. Quote, "The relationship between this country's governing elite and the military, whose existence is a precondition for the power of a ruling class, is unfortunately complex. An increasing divergence exists between the interests of the American ruling class and those of the public. The governing elite simply does not bear the cost of our nation's defense." Think about that for a second, coming from someone who has quote unquote inside information. He further added, "We are not ambivalent about the side of which we have chosen when it comes to supporting the defense of the United States. Everything we have accomplished, everything we have built has been made possible by the country in which our company was founded." Silicon Valley has been extremely critical of Palantir, but they are speaking from an extremely leftist social posture, which we believe the majority of the country does not agree with. Most Americans agree with the defense of this country and the democracy that has made us the most successful and most powerful country that the world has ever known. Can someone say amen? The Palantir CEO didn't avoid the elephant in the room by addressing the most controversial aspect of Palantir. Listen, a commitment to the defense of a nation that rises above the ordinary gestures and theater of our present political life often requires difficult choices and trade-offs. We understand that all technology, including ours, is dangerous, and that software can be used as a weapon. Lives have been saved and taken as a result of software products we have built. And finally, he ends the letter with the sentences we began with. "We build software to ensure the survival of our most vital institutions, and we succeed only if and when those institutions do." We believe there were some very important critical comments in this annual letter. Overall, it felt like it was a letter written by a confident CEO. Whether we get a positive earnings report tomorrow that is favored by Wall Street or not, it's our conclusion that Palantir is an incredibly special company that will continue to grow across all industries in all sectors, and over time create life-changing wealth for those who buy shares early and often. We are anxiously anticipating a very good earnings report tomorrow. Don't miss our weekly roundup on Friday, as the MoonShot Money team will be discussing the highlights. And as we always say, this is for entertainment purposes only. It's not investing advice. Earn more, save more, invest more, and give much more. Check out one of these great videos here, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a blessed day, everyone.